Hi there, welcome. Ready for another Tarot Tuesday. I'm going to do the weekly reading and I'll give you another Celtic cross and see how things are going. I finally have created a Patreon, so what I'm going to start doing is eventually I'm going to offer readings, specific readings, either single card, 3-card, or a full Celtic cross spread via Patreon for my patrons for small donations. And they'll be very affordable, like $3 for a single card, $10 for a 3-card, and so on, etc. But I want to, of course, I'll continue the weekly Celtic cross here for you all. And for the first, if you have questions and want me to provide any of those, they'll be offered for the first 150 patrons. I'll be offering those at no charge. Because I really just want to develop the community here. I mean, that's really my primary goal, is getting you guys involved and getting us all together. That's the purpose of this channel. So, how are we all doing? You holding up okay? Like anyone, I'm having my own energetic ups and downs. New moon cycles are always hard on me. And I think it's because I was born on a new moon. And the process of coming into this body, this particular body, was really not good for me. I'm not used to having small bodies with lots of health issues. So, this lifetime's been one of a lot of shadow work and a lot of karmic unburdening. And if you were to see my birth chart, you would see that my 12th house is just laden with all kinds of things. But I'm working through it, little by little. And now that I'm in my crone phase, things are finally starting to make sense, barely. But it's fortunate in that now that I am here, I feel like I can finally offer some insight to others who might have some persistent blocks and challenges. Okay. I talked all the way through that, but the cards know what I'm going after, and they're telling me that they are done. So I'm going to give one more shuffle for good measure, and then we'll do the layout. Okay. two messages there, as there often are, but the more pertinent one was on the top. So, okay, covers those crosses beneath, behind, okay, above, good, before, okay, whoopsies, myself, mind, the environment, interesting, the outcome, oh my. Okay, so there's definitely energies shifting this week. There might be some upheaval towards the end of the week, but it looks like we've got the tools to weather it. What covers us is card 21, the world. Get that at the right angle. And many consider this the absolute most. Let's try not to cover my face while I'm showing you this, since I have the opportunity to do that. And I've got everything at an angle today because there are other things on the table that I don't want to show. Many consider this to be the most favorable card in the deck. It's a world of, it's a card of vast opportunities and awareness and infinite space and possibilities and things being cleared away. And with the new moon cycle, perhaps at this new moon, that's what this new moon cycle was. I personally don't feel this. Perhaps many of you do. And if you do, that's excellent, and I'm very happy for you. I always have to give my own input. I'm just going to be straight with you. So perhaps many of you found a sense of relief or change occurred for you during the past week. Covered by, crossed by the Queen of Swords, who is, the swords are always mental energy. And the Queen is can be seen as intense and potentially vindictive, but righteousness is also there, and a sense of justice. So perhaps some of that went on for you this week, where maybe a legal matter got resolved, or there was a long-standing argument or disagreement that came to light, and maybe it was resolved. Maybe it was maybe it was resolved. Maybe it wasn't, or maybe it just came up for you, or maybe you found yourself feeling more argumentative than usual, or just disagreeable. The crossing card can always be energies working in your favor or perhaps against you. So maybe that's what I was experiencing. I don't know. Let's go through the rest of the cards and see. In the subconscious, or as the basis of the matter, we have the Six of Swords, which is Mercury in Aquarius. Can you see my own energy today is just kind of bleh. That's totally where I've been at all week. I've just been bleh. Mercury in Aquarius, though, is a really good placement for the subconscious, and again, swords, mental energy. So this is called science, which so if you've been doing a lot of thinking and trying to work through things, which I definitely have over the past week, as I'm always doing my own shadow work, you might have been finding that you've had some good realizations. I know I certainly have, and I'm continuing to work through certain things. I've had more than one aha moment myself this week, and I'm still working through some of that energy. Maybe you have too, and if so, keep at it, and bravo, that's good. It's hard work, but it ends up rewarding you in the end when you're able to process that. So I'll just leave that there. In the recent past, we have the Seven of Discs. Discs are material energy, and specifically money, and this is failure. So you might have experienced a financial loss recently. I know in America, where I happen to live, that was true for a lot of people. And so I'm disabled, and so I have a very low but stable income. So this wasn't true for me personally, but I know it was true for a lot of people. And so there's definitely a heaviness pervading the air for a lot of us, and I really feel for you. And of course, the extended tax day came due, and a lot of people were really shocked and surprised by the recent changes in the tax code, and having it, oh, holy fuck, are you kidding? I owe money? I've never owed money before. So I'm probably wading through those waters as well. Because I just pick up on a lot of that. So I feel really, really sorry for all of you who are experiencing that. In the conscious mind, we see the Three of Cups, which is Mercury and, God, and it's not clear. I want to say, is it Cancer? The art partially obscures this sign, but it's the Three of Cups, and this is abundance. And cups are love energy, and the three is a beautiful magical number in the gematria, because while the one is the initiation of the soul energy of the suit, the two makes it manifest in the ether. The three makes it manifest in our universe. So here we have it actually manifest, the love energies manifest in our universe, and we're able to experience it as a real thing. So this is on our minds. We're all aching for love, and for many of us that means some kind of human contact. So I feel you there. It's very much on a lot of our minds. Which brings us to the near future. And again, we have swords energy, mental energy. And this is Jupiter in Libra, which is called truce. So mental energy, the 4 is a balanced number in the gematria. And it looks like we're going to have just kind of a smooth easing of things over the next week. Our mental energies will just kind of balance out. It's not going to be quite as hectic. And so as far as things being added to our plate that we're going to have to worry about, there's not going to be anything extra added to our plate that we're going to have to worry about in the next week. So I guess that's a relief. In the self, the self card and the energies that we carry in our own being, we have the 8 of discs, and it totally makes sense. This is called prudence, and it's the sun in Virgo, the master of practicality and budgeting and hygiene. It's the 8 of discs, prudence. So we are in control of our own economies. We are taking off our shoes either before we enter our house or once we enter our house. We're wearing our masks. And I'm looking at you non-mask wearers, although none of you are watching this channel. We're washing our hands. We're keeping hand sanitizer in our cars and in all high contact areas that don't have hand washing available, etc., etc. And so we're being careful and cautious, which is how it should be. And in the mind, we have that beautiful 3 again here in Wands, which is fire and creativity, wand energy, the beautiful 3 again. And this is the sun in Aries, which is exactly a beautiful place for it. This is called virtue. And so we're trying to do the right thing. We're trying to maintain our ethical balance so that everything can just be right with the world. If we're right within ourselves, then we'll draw in the positive energy that we need to so that we can be right with the world, and the world will make sense again. Although a lot of us are probably thinking the world will never make sense again. But if we can stay virtuous, we can make that happen. In the environment, we have the Knight of Cups. We had him last week, although in a different placement, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. I might actually end up looking that up and seeing if I'm correct or not. And of course, the cups are love energy, and the Knight is the rescuer. But in this case, of course, he's slightly ineffective because he and his horse are looking into different directions, right? So we're still not in the environment, there is a disagreement as to what the correct course of action should be. So we still need to come to terms with that, people. Although in the EU, in the coming week, they do have agreement, but here in the States, we can't seem to get it together. So that's frustrating. But in the outcome, in the coming week, we are going to see some turmoil. I don't like seeing this card. We've got the Tower, which means there's going to be some upheaval, and we're going to have to face that. So we've got a few things happening. For example, at this point in time, as of the time of this reading, and I hope that this changes, we've got a couple things happening. There's the end of the unemployment benefits extension. There's the end of the moratorium on evictions that expire at the end of the month. And there are a couple of other things that are being argued in Congress at the moment. So I think that this card reflects that as of the time of this reading. So I'm really hoping that Congress can get its shit together. And I think it's incumbent on all of us to make phone calls and really get up the skirts of your representatives and your senators, get inside their petticoats, and bug the shit out of them and tell them that it's unacceptable. I should probably link some kind of tool at this point of the reading and put it on the screen so that you can look up your representatives and your congresspeople so that you can call. I don't think writing will be sufficient. I think you need to call them and complain as much as fucking possible so that they can help you and not protect just corporations, which is what they tend to do because they like having big money on their side. But their job is not to protect big money, their job is to protect you. So, because this is unacceptable. This is not okay. And that's all I have to say about that. So with that, I'm going to end the reading. And I insist that you make call after call. Bright blessings to you all. Go in peace and love. Thank you for watching.